Imperfect together. We are back.
Zach
is back.
I am back.
Zach, if you missed last week, Zach surprised us right in the middle of it.
Yep, I did.
Surprise attack.
I surprised.
But it's good to see him. Good to see you. Good to have you back,
yes,
Zach.
I'm back.
Zach said he came back because I suck.
Well,
said he had to fix the podcast.
I didn't say it sucked. I just said it needed help. And
You're saying I'm boring, Zach. It's okay.
I'm not saying you're boring. I'm not saying you're boring. I'm just saying that, the ratings could go up a little bit, That's all I'm saying.
Okay, well.
You being alone by yourself talking about sex, it's a little weird.
Well, it's better than talking with somebody else about it.
I mean, you could talk to, Donnie or something, you're just like,
hey.
I watched it. It was just like.
Did you really watch it?
I did. Well, I kind of watched it in the middle of it. The nurse kind of was talking to me while you were talking about it. And
the nurse is like, "What are you watching?"
Yeah, I was like, I'm learning about sex.
What is the thing that you missed most being in the hospital? That like, as soon as you got out.
What I missed most about the hospital?
No, when you were in the hospital. So while you were in the hospital.
Yes.
You were in there for like 4 months.
Yeah,
what is the
80
thing
days.
that you missed most so that as soon as you got out, you said, let's go here, let's do this? Or
I wanted to be home. I wanted to be with my kids just because I haven't seen them. At that time, whenever all this stuff hit, Joel was probably only a week old. And so I only got a week to, spend time with him. And so that was a huge depressor. Like it was, but hospitals had strict rules about, kids being in there and stuff like that. I was able to see Catherine after the whole COVID, after I got out of the COVID ICU. But that was nice. But yeah, I missed just being home and just being with the kids. And I also missed like work, I missed Wednesday nights, I miss, Sunday nights. But, I miss Young Life Monday, even though we're not doing it anymore. But, I miss all of it, but it's just, I can't, my immune system's just so messed up right now that I can't, I don't want to jinx it, No,
I don't.
Like this right here is probably as dangerous as I'll probably ever go. So until I get vaccinated, but hopefully it'll be soon. I have a sneaky suspicion whenever I talk to my my disease doctor, he may give me the go ahead. So if that's the case, I'll be good in April.
So you just have to wait till your immune system gets back to a certain level, or?
Yeah. Like I'm pretty good with walking around and stuff. Like, yeah, there'll be times where I may need a walker or a cane or something like that. But I mean, I'm about to start physical therapy. So, so it's just, it's a process.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Yeah, you're getting there.
But I want to get back into it. Catherine, on the other hand, is like, you need to slow down, like you need to not think about work and all this stuff.
Keeping you reeled in.
But she's like, but it is what it is. I'm happy to be home, and it's good to be with, the kids and, getting to spend time with them and getting to see Joel and all that stuff. So it's been good.
What's the first food you ate that was a hospital food?
Fried chicken. So homemade. My stepmom.
Good stuff.
My stepmom, not my stepmom, my mother-in-law, she was helping with Catherine, and they found out that I was coming in town, and she drove from Texarkana to Fort Smith and made me fried chicken. So
is that your favorite food? Like her fried chicken?
Yeah, her fried chicken is so good. And so, yeah, I went to town.
I had KFC the first time.
Yeah.
In a long time.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago.
How did that go?
It was good. I don't know why I haven't been eating it.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, her fried chicken's really good. And and I just spend time with the kids, and it was great. But
Yeah. Well, good.
yeah.
All right. So jumping into the topic for today,
Yes. What's the topic?
I want to look at like what is worship, and I'm not going to give any clarification on that yet until we start to talk about it a little bit. So when I just say worship, what is worship? What comes to mind? How would you define it? That kind of stuff.
Worship, I define it as people doing this. And people doing this.
Okay. What does that mean?
Like,
I mean, I know what you're doing, but
like, oh, Jesus, you know, like, oh, and this is like, oh, like, I'm holding a like a frying pan
poses of worship.
I'm holding a pan of brownies right now, and I'm giving it to God.
The sacrifice.
Bring it up. And so, that's an example of worship. You know, there's this right here. Yeah. Which that's kind of my.
I've never seen people pulling their shirt.
I kind of do that.
Oh.
I kind of do that when it's really good. I'm just like.
That's your thing, huh?
I kind of pull it, but now I have to kind of watch out for my cords. But I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
So why do you do that?
Well, I heard, so there's this really, really intelligent guy named Will Wyatt, and we were talking about worship. And he's like, why do people do this? You know, why do people do this? You know, He's like, God lives within you. God lives within you. You're not reaching out to him. That's silly. He's in you. And so I kind of took that as, that makes a lot of sense. Like, he's right in here, you know, like, yeah, it's like, so if I'm gonna feel anything, I'm gonna feel my heart. I'm doing worship. So that's how I kind of viewed it. Because at first, whenever there was a worship song, I was like, do I put my hands up? Do I, like, see someone? Okay, here we go. But it's like, all right, Jesus, let me get you. Let me grab you.
Trying to reach for him.
But it's like, but you're just like,
So with all these things, when you're talking about worship, you're talking about music. Like
music.
We sing songs.
Yeah, music.
Okay.
Like Kumbaya, that's a good one.
When's the last time you sang Kumbaya?
Man, it's been a while.
Exactly.
We should.
No, we shouldn't.
But yeah, you got Hillsong. You got, what's that new one that everyone's talking about now?
The Blessing?
Could be. I don't know. Lauren Daigle. That's another one.
Daigle.
Daigle.
We had this discussion already way back when. You called her Dangle.
Lauren Daigle. And then you got Ellie Holcomb, and there's a few of them that I like. There's one album that I constantly listen to at least once a week, and it's Will Reagan live at Bank House.
I don't know who Will Reagan is.
I don't know. I don't know any other of his stuff besides that one album, but it is so good. But I listen to that like, if I want to get centered or, like I listen to it at least once or twice a week. It's very good.
What's one of the songs? Just sing it for us right now. Just belt it out.
Set a fire down in my soul that I can't contain, that I can't control.
Yeah, that's Jesus culture.
No, that's Will Reagan.
Well, he may have a version of it. Or maybe he did it and Jesus culture did a version of it.
And then there's, I climb a mountain with my hands wide open. I will climb this mountain with my hands wide open.
I don't know
that song. Yeah, there's a lot of them. It's a lot of kind of repeating it, but it's like soulful. It's like good. But I really like it. And so it's very acoustic and very, you could tell that Jesus was present in that Bank House or wherever that was. You know? But
so how would you define worship?
Just kind of like if I said, hey, Chris, you did a great job talking about sex the last few weeks. That would be a compliment, to you, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But worship would be like, I'm praising God, like like I'm being thankful for the things that has happened, like
Oh, somebody's calling me.
so unprofessional.
Sorry, wife.
But I see it
this
as,
off too.
yeah, but I see it as like, we're giving ourselves up to him, and we're worshiping him and we're praising his name and all that stuff. And, a lot of people say, yeah, I do it at church and stuff like that. But, you kind of, for me, it's kind of like all the time, like, I'm praising him, when I'm in the car, listening to worship music and, or it's not even like, it doesn't even have to be worship music, it could be anything, like.
Yeah, so that was my next question. So is worship just music?
No.
Just like, I think we use that language a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, it's time for worship and we're about to
Yeah.
sing songs, but is it just
Yeah, I think
music?
worship is just more of just praising God's name. Like just praising who he is and opening yourself up to him. And yeah, I don't think it's just Hillsong, or Lauren Daigle or, any other worship, song. Like it could be anything, And so that's what I see, That's what I've kind of experienced, like in the hospital. Like there was a lot of me just giving myself up to God, and just, I don't know where you're taking me, but but I'm praising you for what you have done, and what you're, hopefully that you're continuing to do, But I took that as a sign of worship as well, So that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
When I think of worship, I remember, golly, I was in college, I think, and we went to this thing called 722, which was with Louis Giglio when he was leading like a college ministry at North Point Church, and he talked about worship one night there, and he said basically, worship is our response, both personal and corporate, to God for who he is and what he's done in our lives, and how we basically live that out.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not just music, but it's our response to what God has done for us. So when I think of worship, I mean, yes, I think of music.
Mm-hmm.
I think we as humans were wired that way. That's why we have headphones in all the time listening to music, because we're constant, like music channels our emotions, I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it really does, but music can make you cry, can make you laugh. It's what you put on in the background while you're doing your homework.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. And so worship or music is one response of worship that we use that really helps us connect with God. And it's really responding back to God, saying, okay, I'm recognizing what you've done in my life.
Yeah.
So, but I also think it's a lifestyle, right? It's a how I'm every day, because worship is basically just reverence for something, right? You could worship this cup if you wanted to.
Yeah.
We worship sports teams.
Yeah.
If we look at a technical definition of worship, we worship sports teams or people or whatever.
Yeah.
And so the question, worship is really, how am I every day in my life bringing glory to God? How is my life bringing glory to God in response to what he's done for me, which is him dying on the cross for us, right? And so I think we can look at both directions, but I want to jump back to music for a second, since most of us focus so much there. Like, why? I had a good question a minute ago, and then I finished my thought, and now I'm losing it. But when it comes to music, what is really the purpose, or why do we sing songs
instead of just silence?
Well, no. But why do we, like, if we do a worship service or a service, a gathering, whatever you want to call it, why is it always, maybe we do something, then we sing a few songs, and then we listen to somebody speak, and then we split from there? Like, what is the purpose of the music in that moment?
I think it's just to get you centered, to get you.
So what do you mean by that?
Like, for instance, if you're going to church or if you're going to a Wednesday night, it's, Wednesday night we usually play some kind of games, and it's really fun. And then we get into worship, and this is basically setting you up for what's going to be said by either you, myself, Tim, Kevin, whoever. But it's setting that up. It's a response. And it's also, you're responding to God in those moments of worship. And you're allowing yourself to open yourself up to that, to where whenever Kevin talks, it's more of a, I get this, I understand this, because a lot of times, you come into church and, there's like a million things that you're thinking about with school or with boyfriends, girlfriends, and, oh my gosh, my boyfriend didn't text me this morning, tell me good morning. I'm so upset, blah, 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 and I'm stressed about that, and I have to go into church now, and, and then you do the worship, and you're like, oh, you know what, maybe, he just had a long night, of hanging out with his friends, so.
Or he just don't care anymore.
Or he doesn't care anymore. Or he's like, no, I don't care about my girlfriend anymore, whatever. But, but the worship is, getting you focused, getting you more in tune of what God wants to teach you that given day.
I think of it like this. I was on the elliptical this morning.
Elliptical.
I don't like the elliptical, but I was on it. And for whatever reason, so like when I get on, I get my phone and I pull up a YouTube video or something. I want to watch something, because if not, I'm just going to sit there and watch the little mile ticker and see how long I have to go still.
Yeah.
So I want to be distracted.
Yeah.
And so I'll be watching a video or something, but for whatever reason today, the stupid thing was so squeaky.
Okay.
Like everything was just squeak, squeak, squeak. And so like I'm trying to watch this video.
You're probably getting too heavy.
Maybe it is. That's why I'm on the elliptical, Zach. And so it's squeaking.
It's like all the things that I've lost, you have gained.
That's right. I just added them on for you. I wanted to connect with you somehow.
That's all right.
And so anyways, so I'm on this thing and I'm trying to watch, and I don't have headphones in.
Yeah.
And so I'm just speakers from the phone. And so it's like super squeaky, and I'm trying to watch this video. And so what I'm having to do is like, I'm having to choose what I'm going to focus on.
Yeah.
Like, am I going to like listen to this squeak, or am I going to try and tune in to hear the video? Because it's kind of like, you ever been in a crowd or something, and like my dad has a whistle.
Yeah.
And, or even just talking or whatever. Like you can be in a crowd with a whole bunch of people, and then all of a sudden, like if you're trying to listen for your dad, you'll be able to hear him and find him.
Yeah.
Or your mom, or whoever. So it's kind of like the same thing. I was having to focus on trying to listen to what the video was saying and trying to tune out the squeaking. Yeah. Not that I couldn't hear it, but I was focusing in on what I wanted to focus on. And I think worship is the same thing. It helps us get focused, get recentered, to be able to experience God and to give glory back to God for what He's done for us. I think too, I think it's so easy for us to want to be consumers of worship instead of givers of worship.
Yeah.
Right. And I know I'm guilty of this. Like, I don't like this song. This song sucks.
Yeah.
And I get like, why are we doing this song? And I'll get mad about that instead of actually like, oh, it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about God.
Yeah. It's a song about God, that how much we love Him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm being stupid on like, why did we pick this one?
Yeah.
That's what we do as humans.
Yeah.
But instead we have to realize it's not about us.
Yeah.
It's about bringing glory to God for who He is and what He's done.
Yeah.
So you talked in the beginning about different motions, postures. Let's call them postures of worship, right? Are those bad?
I mean, it's whatever you.
Because we started off making fun of them, so I'm just curious if.
I think it's whatever makes you comfortable if this is it. Is this in the beginning? Whenever I was in my new faith, I was like, do I do this? Like, okay. All right.
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't know what I'm doing. Like, all right, God, yeah, let me get you. But I always just felt weird doing it. And then, then I told you about the whole Will White thing. Like, I was like, that just makes so much sense. Like, God is within you. Like, I'm expressing myself. He's expressing, the worship is coming inside me, and, I don't know. But, I mean, I'm not, if you want to do this and if you want to do that, and on all means do it. Like, there's not a bad way to worship, if this is what
why do you think we do that though?
To catch him.
You're trying to catch him.
Get him. Come on. I know you're somewhere in this room. I'm just gonna.
I don't think that's it, Zach. I gotta say, I've never raised my hand trying to catch Jesus.
Or it's like, oh, let me give you my feelings. Like, let me give you my emotions. Or, I made an apple pie. Here you go, Jesus. Like, but like I said, I don't know. But if you feel comfortable doing this, or like,
yeah, well, I don't
go do
listen. I don't think there's a right or wrong way.
No,
I think
not
people
right or
have
wrong way.
reasons though when they do respond. Like I said, we all respond to things differently.
Yeah.
I
do this. I do this.
Right. So why do you do that?
It's like, because God's inside me.
So you're trying to pull him out?
Trying to pull him out. Like, come on. Like, get out of there. Not get out of there, but just like, are you listening, God? You listening, God? Like,
so you got to pull on your shirt.
Yeah.
And just like turning the microphone on.
Yeah. Yeah. But I just feel like he lives inside me. So it's like, it's a response in my heart, And so that's how I view it. I don't see it as, he's out there in the sky. It's like, no, I accepted Jesus. Jesus is in me, and I, that's just how that's just how I feel, but I'm not discrediting anyone that wants to do this or this or this.
I think when we raise our hands,
it's whatever you want to feel comfortable.
I think when we raise our hands, it's not a trying to catch Jesus in the sky. I think it's a sign of surrender, right? You're almost like.
Then why don't you just do this?
When you're giving myself up to the cops. No, almost like when your kids come and run up to you and they lift your hands up for you to pick them up. Right? I think it's something along those lines, and I think it's different for everybody. Right? Like I said, I don't think there's a right or wrong, and I don't think when people do raise their hands, it's a bad thing.
I don't think so.
You're
either.
doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Jesus is inside.
Yeah.
No, I think we all respond differently to worship. We raise our hands. A lot of times I'll put my hand on my chest.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll lift one hand. Or sometimes I'll do both or whatever. But I think all of it is, man, something is stirring within me, and I want to connect with Jesus. And I think that's why we sing.
Yeah.
But I want to read a verse to you. I want to get your thoughts on it.
Uh-huh.
All right. It's in John 4:23. It says, "But the hour is coming and is now here, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father is seeking such people to worship him." I think this can get complicated, but I just want your initial thoughts on this verse, because you said something a minute ago that I think gets to the heart of what worship really is. So
say that.
We're to be worshipers in spirit and in truth.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. There's other verses in Hebrews. It says to continually offer up a sacrifice of praise to God. That is the fruit of the lips that acknowledge his name. And don't forget to do good and to share with others, for with such sacrifice, God is pleased.
Yeah.
Right? So worship is much more, it's singing, it's different things, but I guess I'm starting to answer it for you. So go ahead.
Yeah, but it's also like, like for instance, there's probably a show that's probably not good for you, but you used to watch it, but now you watch it and it's, I don't want to really watch that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of giving that up,
Mm-hmm.
If that makes sense. But that could be a sign of worship. I'm not really focusing on that, Instead, let me pick up my Bible, And I did that a lot when I was in the hospital, There was a lot of, kind of checking myself. You know what I'm saying? Like there was some stuff that I, used to watch, and I watched it, and I watch it now, and I'm just like, oh, why was I watching that? Like there's nothing. I mean, it was like it was a comedy show, but they had a little bit of foul language in it, and I was just like, I don't really like that anymore, like, and God kind of like transformed me not to do that, but and I stopped that, and I started, I actually watched The Chosen for the first time, and it was really good.
It's such a good series.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I've been wanting to watch it. I haven't done it.
It is so good. I downloaded it for free. Like you could get it for free and stuff. But man, it is so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I mean, everything about it. Like I freaking loved it. Yeah, I'm excited about season 2 whenever that comes out. But yeah, it's just worship is you offering yourself to God and, giving him all the glory. And yeah, like that's what I feel like worship is. And that can be through music, that can be through, watching The Chosen, or, anything in that, that's pleasing to God. And I think, like me loving on my kids well, and, teaching them about, teaching my 3-year-old how to pray, like I think that's, I think, worship could be a whole bunch of things,
Yeah,
but it's just praising God.
Yeah, and it starts inward.
Yeah.
Right? It starts in the heart, and truly. So it talks about in spirit and in truth.
Yeah.
I mean, we can sing songs all day long, but if I don't really care about what I'm singing, if it's not really a heart thing, then it doesn't really work, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You're not really worshiping. You're singing a song. And so I think what he's getting to there is like in spirit and in truth is okay. You have to seek the truth. You have to truly believe what you believe about God, and then that expresses itself in other ways. When you look at Hebrews and what it was talking about here, I'll just read it again. It says, through him, let us continually offer up a sacrifice of praise to God. That is the fruit of the lips that acknowledge his name, and do not forget to do good and to share with others, for with such confidence, God is pleased. So when we talk about worship, it's not only praise or music, but it's doing good. It's what is our sacrifice and how are we serving other people? So it's acts of praise and it's acts of love. And that's what worship is. It's all encompassing all of that kind of stuff to bring glory to God for who he is, for what he's done for us. And how we choose to express that can look so different. And there's no right or wrong, right? So, any last thoughts for you on this topic?
No, I think we nailed it.
What's your favorite worship song?
It's not a Will Reagan song. It's I Will. Like I will cherish you for the rest of my life. You don't have to think twice. I do.
Boys to Men.
You.
Yeah, it's one of Boys to Men, All for One of them old school like. Yeah, it is, isn't it?
No, it's
98 degrees.
Yeah, it's 98 Degrees.
I knew it was one of them old bands. Like, I swear I know this, and that is not.
That's probably my favorite one.
Problem is, nobody watching this knows what that song is. We're old.
It's that. What's that one song? I like Waymaker, but I think it's getting overplayed. Everyone's kind of using that. It used to be my favorite, but then now I just hear it all the time. And so that Billion song.
So Will I.
Yeah, So Will I. I like
a
that
good
one. That's probably my favorite one right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's been around a while too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like that, and I also like what's that one song about the guy that lost his daughter and son, and he was on a ship and there was a storm. It's like I don't know. He's like, I'm content. I'm whatever God's will is will happen. It's a popular song. I forgot what it's called, but I like that one too.
I don't know a song that tells a story like that.
It's
Oceans.
No, it's not Oceans. It's a really old hymn. It's a really old hymn.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about then.
Yeah, it's good though.
That's all right. We all got our different songs.
Yeah,
we like.
It's the guy who made it, but it doesn't talk about him losing his kids or anything like that or a ship. But,
then why did you say that?
But he wrote it during the storm. So
okay.
I just thought it was cool.
Amazing Grace.
No, it's not Amazing Grace. It's like
I think I know it's
like
story you're talking about.
It's like something about God's will. I don't know. I'm a terrible Christian for not knowing it. But when I listen to it, I'm like,
It's such your favorite song, you don't even know what it is.
I have a few. I mean, Will Reagan, man, that whole album, I could listen to it over and over again. But
I think it's probably because it's so like there's a difference between just songs and then ones that like just feel like the spirit's moving. You know what I'm saying?
Like a lot of Christian music,
like where it just feels very authentic,
it's very
and
like
real.
Like Christian music now is like very poppy and whatever, and I just like a dude with an acoustic guitar. Like that's all.
That's why Cody Carnes.
Yeah, like
so good right now.
Like that's what I want. I don't need these flashing lights. I don't need all this stuff. Like, just give me a dude with a guitar and just go after it. Like that's where I'm at. That's
campfire.
Yes.
Campfire singing.
Yep, that's my jam.
Right.
That's my jam. So anything with that, like, I'm pretty down with. But you go to the Christian radio stations, like la 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 la.
That's how it goes.
I don't know. That's what I feel like, and so I have to like make I have my own playlist that's very mellow Christian music. Very like gets me into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nashville 9. That's another great.
I have no idea.
Nashville 9. They're really good. Ellie Holcomb. She's a really good one. Drew Holcomb. They're good. They're all from Nashville. But
is there 9 of them?
Nashville 9. I'm assuming there's 9 of them. I've never really seen a picture of them.
I
I've listened to a lot of their music, but I don't really know.
I'll have to look those up. I don't know those.
Maybe it's Nashville 1 and Nashville 2. Or, that's the singer and that's the guitarist, maybe. I don't know. I don't know their names.
I don't either.
Nashville 9.
Okay.
Yeah, they're good.
All right. Let's wrap this thing up.
All right. You want to wrap it up?
Sure. Go ahead.
All right, guys. It's been fun talking about worship. I hope you're worshiping however you want to. See you next week.
Love you guys.